Hello guys, welcome to Movie Mind YouTube channel. Today, in this video, I am going to explain to you the full story of the Sleeping Dictionary movie. Let's take a look at the story of this movie without further delay. The story begins in 1936 with an English and innocent young man named John. There are many countries in England. There one has to do a government job, which means one has to go to different countries and learn the language there. John goes to a British protected country called Sarawak. People there are very backward. They are not very developed. A man named Balansai takes John to his boss, Henry Bullard. He asks, "John, you can get a better job. Why did you choose this area?" John said, "My father wanted to develop higher education and school for the people here. He died without completing that task. So I think I should complete that task." Henry Bullard takes John to learn the language among the people there. He says that no matter what the people there say, it should be done without saying no. They offer John a drink. John says, "I won't drink, no." They say, "This is our custom. If you don't accept our courtesy, we will feel insulted." John must drink. The drink is brought by a beautiful girl named Selma. Everyone drinks. Selma dances. They also ask John to dance with them. But John tells a poetry. Nobody likes that. Later John dances funny with Balansai. Everyone laughs at that. The next day Selma approaches him. Henry tells John, "Selma will teach you the language, and do all the things a wife does for you, and be intimate with you." Nothing makes sense to John. "You must do this to learn the language," says Henry. He says that this is also the custom here. Henry says, "We didn't force Selma. She wants to be with you." John feels wrong to do that. "I will learn the language from Selma, but I will not be intimate with her," says John. Henry leaves in anger. Selma is also angry with John. John tells Selma, "This is not done in the country we live in. It is very wrong to do this." One of the chefs there brought a boy and told John, "He's going to be intimate with you." He thinks John is a transsexual person because he refuses to be intimate with Selma. That's why the chef said like that. John was very angry with him. He was also angry with Selma. After that Selma leaves from there. The chef tells John that everyone will laugh if Selma goes home. John convinces Selma and brings her home. At night, both of them sleep in the same room on separate beds. Selma says, "If you are not intimate with me, you will be in trouble tomorrow when you get married." John jokes, "No, I'll go to class and learn." John asks Selma, "Why did you choose me?" To that Selma says, "You are not like everyone else, you are something special." Later in the morning John tells Balansai, "I heard you can stay in the water for a long time." To which Balansai says, "Yes, I am the champion in that." John thinks that he should participate in the competition with Balansai. Both of them go down in the water together. After a while Balansai comes out of the water. He is having difficulty in breathing. John is still in the water. John will win the competition. Balansai asks, "How did you stay in the water for so long?" John shows the oxygen cylinder and says, "With the help of this." They don't know anything about it. There is no knowledge at all. Because John defeated Balansai, everyone listens to John. Selma also feels very proud. Later that night, Selma explains to John about body parts. In that process both of them touch each other's body. Later both become intimate. Since then they are often intimate. One day after being intimate, Selma is going home. "Stay here," John tells her. Selma said, "We have a rule here. If someone sleeps together for 5 nights, they are engaged. You can't marry me, can you?" and leaves. The next day, Henry invites John to his house. His daughter Cecil has completed her studies in England. Everyone has dinner. Cecil says, "There used to be a rule here that if someone wanted to do a job there, they would give a girl and get intimate." Cecil still doesn't know. The same rules and procedures are being followed here. Cecil asks them if there are feelings between them. Henry says that can't happen, it shouldn't happen. John says no, it will happen. John has fallen in love with Selma, so he says so. John kisses Selma. John's love for Selma grows day by day. John goes to the people there for research with Cecil. Cecil is taking pictures of them there. Cecil keeps taking pictures of Selma because she is beautiful. Selma says to John, I don't want my pictures taken. Tell Cecil not to take pictures. John remains silent. Selma gets angry. The next day some dead bodies are found in the river. Those corpses belong to the people there. They died of sickness. But John says, I'll go find out about it. Henry's wife says, no, you don't know the local language here. It's not all because of you. John says, it's my responsibility. I have to go, and take some people with him. It includes Selma and Bellensai. Before they leave, Henry's wife meets John. She said to John, our girl will be a very good match for you. She studied well. She says you should marry our girl. John is silent. She says, you better make a decision soon or you will miss her. Later John approaches Selma. Are you intimate with another officer? He asks. Selma got angry and said, yes, when Cecil was taking my pics, you didn't stop when I told you to stop. You didn't protect me. You are like everyone else. Selma is a very good girl who has a lot of self-respect despite growing up in society. Next day they all go to one place. There are already some people who died of illness. John is very surprised to see that. At that time, a man attacks John. Bellensai saves John by noticing this first. Both Bellensai and John follow him. Selma is also sick when she returns. John realizes that this happened because Selma ate the rice there. The people who were mining there gave this rice to them. Because of eating them, the health of the people there is deteriorating and they are dying. That rice is like slow poison. John orders them killed. He saves the people there. Then he tells Selma what is on his mind. I can't leave you. I will marry you. To that Selma says that all these cannot be done here. John says, I will make it possible. I will convince your relatives. The next day John tells Henry everything. Henry is very angry with John. He says it is against the culture here. Henry's wife overhears all this. Forget Selma and get on with your life, she tells John. Henry makes an offer to John. He says, you should go to England and get married. Then if you want to come here, you can come, otherwise I will put you in jail. On the other hand, Selma is requested by Bellensai's father. She doesn't even listen. So Selma is put in jail. After that John goes to Selma. Selma to John, I told you before that all this was impossible, but you did not listen, says that. Henry tells John, if you don't listen to me, I'll put you in jail too. Selma does not want to see John in jail. So she tells John to get out of here. A year later, John was married to Cecil. Cecil doesn't know Selma is John's sleeping dictionary, but she didn't mind. They all become one. The year is over. John thinks he should go to that area again. There they say welcome to John. John's gaze was searching for someone there. Cecil wants to get intimate with John at the hotel that night. But John does not feel comfortable. Then Cecil said to John, I know everything about you Selma. Selma is married. He also has a son. She spends her life very happily. You two live your life happily. The next morning John goes to meet the newly arrived officer Neville. He sees the girl who was given to him as a sleeping dictionary being beaten well. John gets very angry with the officer. He says that they should not be tortured like this. He says that if he does this again, he will not tolerate it. Cecil's mother tells her, I feel you are not happy. John hears all this. He comes in and kisses Cecil. He says we want privacy, go out. Later John sees Selma and her son by the brook. Seeing the child's resemblance, he realizes that he is his own son. John lies to the chef and summons Selma to meet her. He tells her that he is our child. Selma says they will kill us if they see us meeting like this. However, John does not listen and visits Selma and his son frequently. Bellensai knows this. He is very angry. Bellensai goes to John's house to kill John. He attacks with a knife. John dodges while attacking with a knife. This matter becomes very serious. Bellensai is caught and sentenced to death for attempting to kill John. In the night time John goes and avoids Bellensai. And later he tells Selma that if we have to live together, we have to run away from here. The next day they think to run away. Cecil will be very happy that day, because she is pregnant. After knowing this, John gets confused and doesn't know what to do. Seeing Selma alone, the newly arrived officer Neville is about to rape her. Selma kills Neville with Chef's help. After that, John writes a letter to Selma saying that he cannot leave Cecil. Cecil looks at it and reads it. She feels very sad and cries. She says, "I know Selma is your first lover. You can't be happy with me and I can't be happy with you if you have another girl in your mind. Go to her." Their discussion delays John's approach to Selma. Selma is nowhere to be found when John leaves. Already gone. Henry then hunts down Selma and captures her. He hugs Selma. Selma is not someone but Henry's daughter. Fearing his wife, Henry keeps Selma away. Selma also knows that Henry is her father. Henry gives Selma a gun and tells her to leave. But the Neville we think is dead here is not dead. Then he just fainted. Henry's wife orders Neville to kill both John and Selma. John has been looking for Selma for days. Finally he meets Selma. But then Neville also comes there. He has a gun. He ties up John and tries to rape Selma. In this way, the people who live in the forest will come there. They kill Neville with arrows. Earlier, John had saved the forest people from slow poison rice. That's why they helped John. Selma tells John, "If you live with me, you'll always have to stay here." John says, "This is my family. I will stay with my family." This movie ends here. For such an interesting movie explanation, please subscribe to my channel and activate the bell next to it. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to like and comment. Thanks for watching. See you later in the video.